Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of today's special minis. I'm continuing on with my miniature library building theme, so I'm continuing to make different books for the library shelves or bookshelves. And in this video I'm going to show you how to make this scrapbooking album, or a photo album, not scrapbook album, although I might do one of those later. And so as you can see, this is it's supposed to look like one of those heirloom vintage old photograph albums. And as you can see, let me get you in closer. It's full of old and new family photos. And just like a real scrapbook album, some pages are filled, some are not. And I think it just looks really great on a shelf. So in this one also, you see some torn things, like as if somebody took some pictures at some point out of there. So I think this is really cute, a really cute addition to any dollhouse bookshelf or keepsake dollhouse item. So, and also to go with this book, I don't know about other cultures, but certainly African American cultures, we keep all the different obituaries of people who have passed on. And so I made a collection of obituaries, 3 trifolds. I'm not sure if I showed you guys this in the other video, but this is a deeper walkthrough. They all have text in them. So all the trifolds, the covers are different, but the inside information is the same, and no, you can't really read it. So even though the covers are different, and then these are all of the half folds are different. And in each in this collection there are 12 obituaries. Sorry, I've been gluing stuff, so fingers. And you know, even sometimes you have those obituaries that are they're not printed right. So I did one that was a little wonky as well. And one of them fell on the floor somewhere, so I'm just showing you 11, but there's 12. I just have to look for it in my spare time. Again, like I said, with miniatures, they fly all over the place. So you can, you know, usually in the photo album there'll be some obituaries, so you can toss some in the back of your book. And I'm going to make 4 of these, so I'm going to divide these 12 obituaries up between the 4 books, and these will belong to the husband of the house, whose family is more interested in photography and their ancestry and keeping photo albums than the woman of the house is. So these will belong to the guy of the house. So as usual, what I did was, when I do my miniatures, I look at hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pictures, and look through them to see which ones I want, and then I will put all of the ones I want on a sheet of paper, and I'd put the obituaries down at the bottom. So I had already cut these out to fill these up. So there's about 200 images on this page. And these are all 4x6 photos for the most part. Some of them are 6x6 because I didn't want to go into I didn't want to get too crazy. Even though I know antique photos are all different sizes and Polaroids are different sizes, mine are all going to be just like a standard size. 4x6, though I did throw just a couple of other ones in depending on what the picture was and the original dimensions. So this is enough to fill 4 books if you put about 50 pictures spaced out in each book. So I got that with all of the pictures that I wanted. Some of them are black and white. I mean, it doesn't, I guess I could try to show you some of them. And they're just like pictures of like somebody's grandpa might have been a football person, and there's football photos, and there's like pictures of 2 sisters and little kids and vintage twin photos and all kinds of things. Grandma and grandpa pics, pictures from, what else? I even have some for during like the civil rights era, where they have the for colors only fountains and stuff like that. So signifying somebody's family lived through that, of course. Then we have, you know, some pictures from people that live in Africa, because their history, they can trace their history and family back there, and may have still some connections there, as well as, even though my doll family is black, of course, every black family has white people in it as well, and other people. There's even a Asian couple that could be somebody's great grandparent, and so yeah. So of course here we have white grandparents, because somebody had some way back in the day. One of their parents was white and married somebody black or something like that. So. All-inclusive ish, you know, for the most part, because, you know, typically black family trees do have like lots of different colors and races in them. So after you get that printed out, then I have a template for the photo album, and this could also be for a scrapbook album. So will hold 12 by 12 sheets of paper, which would make it 1 by 1 inch, or a little bit bigger for the cover. So you have your base covers. I did mine already the same way I did the binders. I cut out the template, put a piece of Tyvek on, and then covered it with cardstock on the Tyvek side, and that just will increase the flexibility and less likelihood of it tearing over time as people open and close it. Then you'll need something for the spine. This is a black piece of paper, and I put marks at every 1/8 of an inch, as you can see, and I'm going to fold those up accordion style. So this one I did that with brown craft paper, not craft paper because that's too thick. This is made out of paper bags, so you need something very thin like that. And you do the accordion, and then you just glue it in like you would a regular book, and then you will cut out sheets of paper to tape over those little accordion ridges, and you'll glue the paper to that to make your pages. So I'm going to do 2 books with the brown paper and 2 books with black paper. So then I will cover the books with some pieces of faux leather. I would use real leather, but it's too thick, but these faux leather pieces are very thin. They're just like a couple of millimeters thick and easier to work with. So I'll do the other books in that. So I'll fold this accordion style, and then I'll come back and do the one with the brown too, and then I'll probably have the pages and stuff cut out, and I'll be back. Okay, I just wanted to come back and show you real quick the type of paper bag that I'm using. It's not a thick one at all. It's the cheap ones that you get for your kids' lunch bags. So make sure you use very thin paper for this, because thick ones won't work. Okay, so I folded the accordion. And after you do that, of course, you'll leave one flat piece out, and then you'll glue, just like with the books, you will glue the one section to the other. So hold one piece flat, because this is the part that you're going to glue into your book, and then put glue on the next one and glue those two pieces together. So you see those are those two, and that's the flap that you're going to leave out. Glue the next two pieces together. So now you have two, plus the flap you're leaving out. And this one was cut a little bit short, but I will fix that in the end, because it didn't have a little flap left over. But that's okay. I can glue a piece of paper to that to give me a little flap. But what you should have a flap on this side and a flap on this side. I will add the flap on this side because it didn't have it wasn't the right number of folds. So you can see the back of this is a flap on either side, and that is what you're going to glue down to another piece of paper just to give it some strength. And you will cut this to size to fit in your book, just like this one. So when I come back, I will have these done. Oh, I also wanted to show you that for the pictures, I started to cut them out, but I forgot I double mounted them on a plain sheet of white paper. You could glue it on one sheet or two sheets, however thick you want them. But I just did that to make them a little bit thicker, because Polaroids and stuff are kind of thick. And the one sheet I thought would just be too thin. So I'm just going to cut all of these out and have them just ready. And what I'm going to do is I also cut out all of my pages for each book. And it doesn't do for me to give you the sizes, because you just do them whatever size will fit the cover or the photo album that you're working on. So just cut the spine and then cut the sheets to fit, to be able to glue on them. So when I created the original one, this one, I put up the pages in, and then I put the pictures in afterwards. But I think I'm gonna glue just all the different pictures in first, and that'll be that much easier. Then I probably will glue these in, and then just do the covers. So I'll go ahead and cut these out. Okay, it's quite a bit later. So much has happened. I went and put together the other 3 books just to have it done already, and I'll just show you the last one. Where I took my sharp awl tool and just scraped this leather, because this is the original one, and these keep popping off, and it's because this faux leather is actually, I guess, some kind of vinyl type stuff, and it's not really sticking. I used super glue and it popped off. I used fabric tack, I used tacky glue, and these little things kept popping off. So I decided I'm just going to scratch it, and maybe this plastic, whatever this is, it's like not, you can't adhere stuff to it. So I'm just scratching the surface, and then I will make these little cross sections out of the leftover bits that I also scratched on the back surface, just in case that's like some kind of plasticky type of coating too. And then I will use the fabric tack to glue those on. That'll be the final touch. So I showed you that original, but this is another one that I did, and this one has the black pages. Some of them are empty, not all of them. Are gonna have pictures, and I could put it closer, but I mean, I think you get the point. And then there's a couple of obituaries in the back of this one. And then there's this light brown one with the blue accents. Same thing, and this one has the brown pages. So I did 2 brown pages, 2 black pages. I still haven't found that one obituary that flew off or fell or flew somewhere. But if I don't find it, that's okay. I just won't keep it. So then these are the last 2 pieces of those little sample faux leathers that I had. So I'm going to use this as the main covering, and then this is the accent covering. And then I already put the pictures and stuff on these pages. They're just ready to go in. So on each of these, there's like a weird strip where it was on the some kind of like a card that tells you who designed this or where you could buy it from. So I don't need that little glue part. I'm going to try to peel off all of these little scraggly fibers. And what I do is I just kind of eyeball putting the cover on, and you just need a little bit of overlap. And I like to have a little edge on the side as well. So once I do that, just take a little fabric tack, put it on the middle spine, just line it up again. And I want to make sure I have a little edge on the end so I can put that little detailing in. I can see it's a little bit longer over here. I'm just going to cut that off. And add some glue to this side. Now, as you can see, this sticks very well to the paper, but it doesn't stick well to itself, so that is the problem. I need it to stick to itself when I put the little bits on. And then this little string right here, it's a nice size. I can use that on the spine. Cut some of that down. Then you want to cut where the spine is, and then bevel the edges. You take a little glue, hold it, let it set for a second. The great thing about Fabri-Tac is that it does set quickly. You will get glue and stuff on your fingers. So if you don't like that, I don't know what to tell you. When you're dealing with miniatures, you will get glue and all sorts of materials on your fingers because you're dealing with such small sizes of things. And sometimes your hand is the best tool. Don't worry about that if you get glue on the inside. And I'm just using these bubbles that are already coming up on the Fabri-Tac bottle. Still is a little narrower than I would have liked, but that's okay. Then you'll take the accent piece, and I try to make sure the leather fiber is going in the same direction for both types of leather. You can always get the glue off. Don't worry about the glue, you can always get it off. Just make sure your seam is set nicely. You're going to try to make it even, although it doesn't have to be perfectly even, with the edge of the leather that you just put on the main color. Put a dab of glue, fold it over, and bevel the edges, bevel the edge, glue that. And I try to turn it over to make sure I'm looking at this side to make sure it's nice and even, or as even as you can get it. So that's that side done, and you just do the same for the other side. And the reason I decided to do two-tone like this, which adds a little bit extra work, but I like the final product. I think it looks more heirloom. Same thing. Just eyeball it and try to make it even with this part. It doesn't have to be exact. And bevel the edges. And a little bead of glue. Turn it around. That's why you turn it around. You make sure the edges stay lined up. Because this is the show side. And then sometimes that little white that you see, it's from the threads that are on the inside. Sometimes that will show, which I'm okay with that, because you can choose which side is the best side for your needs. Then you just simply cut across the spine, and you have your book. So this is the edge that I will be using on this side. And you have your end papers, and for my end papers I'm just using 2 pieces of black paper. And it's kind of like glossy because I spilled glue all over my desk. But I'm going to use it anyway. Annoying stuff like that sometimes happens. Like this glue bottle thing fell over. And you know how sometimes, stuff happens, you don't even notice it like right away. So practically half the thing spilled out before I noticed that it spilled. And it spilled all over these end papers. But that's okay. For me, this is for me. So just like with anything in a real house, something could spill on, your heirloom album or whatever in real life and damage some of the pages. So actually it goes right along with the theme of having these old albums. And if you want, you can burnish them. But I think I dropped my bone folder fell on the floor. So just press. So there you have it with the damaged end papers, which is fine. Maybe it's water damage from being in the basement somewhere. Got mildew or something on it. Now it's time to add the pages. See that edge right there? Needs a little more glue. So I'll bring in this. This is the culprit that spilled all over the place. Because the top was clogged and I was trying to get the clog out of the little nozzle, and then the whole thing fell over while I wasn't looking. Okay, let me just remember which side this is going to be on. I already have these pages in order, so I'm just going to add them to each little spine. Again, you will have glue all over your fingers and stuff, so if the glue and stuff triggers you or you find it disgusting and gross, then you might put some gloves or something on. No, sorry. So you place a sheet in on one of the spines and you'll have to press them down really well. I like to come in. That'll happen. Gotta get them really secured in there. Then there's the next spine. The next set of photos. And this is really, really hard to do and try to look in the camera too. So that page looks like, is that crooked? Okay, that's better. And I think maybe these are stuck together. That's the problem. They're stuck together because I'm getting glue all over everything. And like I said, I made some of the photos, like you can see, like some of them have been ripped out. Okay, so you get the gist. I think I'm going to do the rest of this off camera because it's hard. I didn't have a problem gluing anything in of the others, and I want to make sure I glue these in pretty much okay. So I'll do that and come back. Okay, I'm back. I have all of the pictures in. See, when I'm able to just look at it on its own, I have no problems doing this. And all of these pictures are just pictures I found from Google image searches. But they look great. So now the final thing to do is the spine. And so again, I just took this thing and dug up and scratched the surface to give it something to hold on to. And I have some little pieces that I also scuffed up on the back, and I put the matching color band on the matching piece. I'll just do one to give you an idea, because once you do one, also what I did was I'm trying to get the glue on the inside of there too. And hopefully, I'm hoping that'll make it stick permanently to get down beyond that plastic part and get these fibers stuck together. and you can clean up whatever edges later. In there. Get it down in there. And like I said, you can scrape off the excess glue later, but that's that done. Oh, it's upside down. I just think that's super cute. And the finishing touch is the little obituaries that go in this album. And we'll call that a wrap. So if you guys like these little antique photo albums or vintage photo albums, I'll do the rest of these later. If you like those, let me know. I hope you make them. And if you guys have some suggestions on miniatures you would like me to try to make, let me know. And I'll see if I can. The reason I'm doing all these miniatures is I'm trying to do automatic content to have videos already uploaded onto my channel and scheduled to air. So in case I don't have anything to think of in terms of mixed media or something else, at least I know these will definitely be on, and I'm trying to do a lot of them and have them up there. You won't believe how many videos I made last year that I never did post, so I'm trying to not do that. So I'm going to have content ready to roll on my channel. So, and if it's miniatures, it's miniatures. If it's mixed media, it's mixed media. If it's painting, it's painting. So just trying to you know, to be proactive and put content on my channel. So hope you like this, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay guys, bye.